In this video, I am sharing the truth and my side and recap of Tiger King and the 4 main characters from that documentary. If you guys haven't seen Tiger King, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. Stop watching this video, go to Netflix and watch it right now. I would love to do a recap of the whole documentary, but I literally tried to film one before this video and it was going on like 30 minutes. It was way too long, so I had to stop it, delete it, and refilm it. And that is why I'm going to just share my thoughts on the 4 main characters. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it and you'll know what I'm talking about. The first character that I want to share the real dirt truth on is Joe Exotic. Joe, he is very charismatic, very interesting, very funny, but I think there is a darker side to Joe than what was really shown on the documentary. In the documentary, Joe Exotic was shown as just kind of a big-hearted, flamboyantly charismatic guy that was funny. You know, everyone seemed to kind of somewhat like him, and he just had a big heart, and he was just a hilariously weird guy. But I think in reality, Joe Exotic seemed to be very self-involved, and he just wanted the fame for himself. And the way I took Joe Exotic, he was a funny enough guy, but I think he ended up being pretty heartless towards the end of the documentary. When his second husband died, he seemed devastated. You would think that the guy was ruined, he was crying, he was sad, but like a month or 2 later, he ended up meeting another man and marrying him 2 weeks later. So I just think it was one thing after another with Joe Exotic. The truth came out that he actually was abusing his animals. He was killing them for absolutely no reason every once in a while, which isn't cool. And I think he's a funny guy on the surface, but I really think the guy would do absolutely anything for fame, and I don't think he's that big-hearted of a guy. So Joe Exotic, I liked him at first. After the documentary, I didn't really love him. I thought he was kind of a jerk that would do anything for fame. But at the end of the day, the guy is hilarious, and he is one absolutely hilarious songwriter, which brings me to the next character who I despise, and that is Carole Baskin. Now, maybe the documentary did play her off to be this horrible person, this murderer, terrible husband, killer, you know, whatever. That is how I took Carole Baskin, though. Maybe she really is a nice, normal person, but I took her as just a god-awful person, and I do think with 100% certainty, maybe not 100%, but I'm pretty confident, I believe, that she did kill her husband. Now, you can put in the comments below what you think of that whole situation with Carole and her husband, but I really do believe that there's like a 95% chance that she did kill him. If she didn't kill him, I think there could be a very small snippet of a chance that he did just escape and he just framed her and he just got the hell out of there. Because I have heard reports that her husband, her ex-husband now, was going to Costa Rica, and he was actually funneling a little bit of money over to Costa Rica. So maybe he did just disappear and he just wanted to frame Carole because they were going to eventually get a divorce. But there was so much other evidence that, you know, in his will, he said if he ever disappeared and just other weird crap, which makes me believe he didn't really want to go and she got rid of him. And I think Carole just has a creepy, twisted, demented side to her, and I think she is really weird. So Carole Baskin and Joe Exotic, I think they are both crazy and could possibly both end up in jail. Do I think Joe Exotic should be in jail for 22 years? Absolutely not. But hey, the guy probably does deserve a couple years because he did do illegal things while they were filming the documentary. The next one up would be Jeff Lowe, and same thing, con artist, liar, fraudster, moron, pathological liar. There's just no other ways to describe this guy. He is the most bizarre person in the whole world. I watched a video of Jeff Lowe being interviewed on the zoo not that long ago, but it was before the documentary aired, and he was just, you know, keeping to himself like how he was in the documentary. He was trying to act all cool, and he was saying he has a big old mansion in Colorado, and he had this private jet, and he was trying to act like he was all some Mr. Big Shot. That guy is a moron. Moron. Pathological liar, idiot. Maybe you like Jeff Lowe. I doubt it because I haven't heard from one person that liked him. I think he is a hilarious liar, and his whole you know thing. It's just a joke. He's actually from Michigan, and he's from a very close city to where I grew up at. So that's kind of ironic and funny, but he's a moron. He's an idiot. I think he totally framed Joe Exotic. I think he uses everyone, and he's just one of those kind of guys in the business world that will do anything to kind of just squeeze his way into people's businesses, and he's always that kind of guy trying to pinch people out of stuff, and I just don't like him. I never liked him. I think he is a con man and a pathological liar. And that leads us to the last person, basically, is Doc Antal. Same thing, weirdo. He's funny, though. Doc Antal is a tad bit more sophisticated than Joe Exotic and kind of Carol. He's probably the same sophistication level as Carol. He's a weirdo, very weird guy, but he kind of portrays himself to not be very weird, but he's very odd. He dates half of the women, he dates a lot of the women that work for him on the zoo. And I think he's just a really bizarre, weird, strange person. He is also a doctor in mystical science. Yes, you heard that right. I've heard it from multiple sources. He is a doctor in mystical science. What in the hell does that even possibly mean? All in all, Doc Antal, there's rumors that he was, killing and cremating some of his animals. I don't know how true that is. I don't want to say that for sure, but I do think Doc Antal, same thing, he's a weirdo, he's a very strange guy, and the same thing, he could end up in jail. So those are my thoughts on these four main characters. Tiger King, it was seriously like one of the best documentaries I have watched in a long time. I wasn't going to watch it because I kind of heard some negative stuff from some friends and family. Then I just watched it last weekend, and I ended up rewatching it this past week because I liked it so much. I mean, you guys heard it right here. Put in the comments below what you guys think, what you guys thought too of, Tiger King and all these four characters. I think Joe, he's a funny guy, but like I said, I think he's just a con man. Same thing. I think Joe, he is definitely, certainly proved himself to be a liar and a con. Doc Antal, he's a liar and a con man. Maybe he was killing his pets, maybe not, but either way, he was still paying his employees very low wages. He was lying about a lot of stuff. I just think the guy is full of it. Jeff Lowe, he is a 1000% con man, liar, pathological liar. No doubt in my mind, he should be in jail for just something that he has done throughout the years. And last but not least, Carole Baskin. I personally think she killed her husband, and I think she should peace out and go to jail because same thing, I think she's full of it. Supposedly she's making all this money. She's trying to act like she's some good person, but I just think she's taking advantage of the animals like everyone else on this documentary. So put in the comments below what you guys thought of Tiger King. I thought it was an awesome documentary, but I want to hear from you guys. So put in the comments below, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and stay tuned for many more videos.